Hello and welcome back to Flaneur Talks podcast. Again, I'm hosting and I'm joined with my co-host Azaria. And unfortunately, Amber can't make it to this one, but we do have a special guest, Alex, who is from Series 1 of Race Across the World on a BBC programme that aired in 2019. So, Alex, can you tell us a bit about that?
So my name's Alex, I'm from Bradford. When I went on the show, I was 18 years old. I was the youngest by 12 years to go on it. And there were two teams, so there were two of us, we were in pairs, and there were 5 teams. And we got our credit cards taken off us, our phones taken off us, any internet products, anything like that, all taken off us. And we were told we were given £1,300 and we had to go from London to Singapore without catching a flight and just getting public transport.
Oh, I loved it. I think I watched it sort of by accident because I was doing my dissertation at the time, so I hadn't been watching any TV. I didn't get like the adverts for it or anything. And me and my friend, we literally just turned the TV on and it was there and we're like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is so cool. How has this like not happened before? And it's properly dramatic as well.
Yeah, 100%. It's underrated if you ask me. It's better than like your typical Love Island shows and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Because there's something going on. Something's happening.
It was so good, and I would definitely recommend it to anybody who needs something to watch whilst we're still in lockdown. Is definitely a lot of fun, and it gives you a lot to think about travel-wise as well. I think it put a lot of places on the map for me that I hadn't thought of before.
100%. I never expected to go places like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, China. So it was a crazy experience.
Yeah, so what was your favourite country when you were travelling?
Always changes. Whenever I get asked this question, it always changes. But I'd say it's got to be Vietnam, China, Thailand area, around them, sort of area, Cambodia. It was around that area just because of how warm it was, how nice the people was, and how different it was, because it's literally, you'd have to go there to experience it, to know how different it is compared to over here. You know what I mean? Because you're never going to see a tuk-tuk driving down Leeds Road or something, are you? You know what I mean?
I wish.
Them ones. Yeah, exactly.
I'd love that in Leeds.
Definitely.
So do you keep in contact with any of the other racers?
100%. They're like family. We're in a big WhatsApp group. We're even in a WhatsApp group with season 2 as well. So we haven't met each other yet, but we've been in contact. Yeah,
because I think season 2 came about just as it was around this time last year when season 2 came out, and this time 2 years ago when the first season came out. I think this was like a really good thing to watch, but at the same time it made me like really jealous, like seeing them all go through South America. I was like, oh, I really want to be there right now. So nice and warm. So one of the questions that I had at the time, and it's something that I have continuously thought of since watching the first season. What was it like? So I can't remember which episode it was specifically, but when you went through China, they on the program they prefaced that after you got through the border, you were taken straight onto a train, and then from there, whilst you were going through the West, you couldn't film. So the film crews had to like shut down, all of that. So what was it actually like going through the parts that couldn't be filmed? Like, was there anything sketchy or?
We're all sketchy. We'd go in because we'd have to get different trains because it wasn't just one train. So we'd have to get off the go to the train station and get another train. But every train station we went to, there'd be like armed police putting us in a room, questioning us because they don't like journalists, and I'm guessing especially not BBC in the autonomous zone. So it was just like, it was a scary experience that I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know where I was or anything like that. We're just like, this is where you got to be careful, you got to be sensible, just be smart, be wary of your surroundings, and just get on with it and just get out of here, and then we can carry on. I was scared. I was like, what's happening? Like, never expected anything like this. No one mentioned anything until we got there, so all crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it came as a bit of a shock for us as well when we were watching it.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, at the moment there is a lot of stuff going on around the world, especially in China. I'm sure, you know, if you Google or if you go on the BBC, you can find a lot of information about what's going on in China. I don't really want to like speak on it myself. I'm not a journalist myself, so I don't really want to say anything and get it wrong. But yeah, and another part of race that I really liked, because I think when we were watching it, we were saying like, how are they going to get there with only, you know, just over $1,000? Like, there's no way you can get through that. So one of the parts that you do is you get the opportunity to get jobs or work at different places. And sometimes you wouldn't have to pay for food and board. Sometimes you would, but, you know, it just depends on the place. So what was it like for you working abroad?
The one thing which it didn't show on the show was there were certain rules which were in place. So you had to stay at one place for 2 days and one place for 6 hours to do some sightseeing and experience the place. So we're not rushing all the time and always racing. They never showed that part.
No.
Never once mentioned it. But so we were working out, so like if we had to stay somewhere for 2 days, we'll get accommodation for free and we'll work and we'll find out some inside knowledge from the local people who work there and stuff like that. So always, every job we did, we worked every leg. Sometimes we worked 2 or 3 jobs a leg, and we needed to get the money because we were stuffed otherwise. And we did it all and stuff. But the best thing about them jobs is speaking to the people which were there, and they had English knowledge which people wouldn't have in the streets, which you would have spoken to. So we had that opportunity to be able to communicate with people and find out where to go next and where to avoid.
Yeah, that's so interesting, because I've always wanted to do like going through South America. There are loads of like animal sanctuaries and things like that where you can go and work. And I think me and my friend worked out that you could basically do a tour of different countries based on where the sanctuaries were. So you wouldn't actually have to like pay for your accommodation the entire time.
Yeah, exactly. It all works.
Yeah, but Azaria, have you ever like thought about working abroad or anything to do with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been something I've been wanting to do for a good few years, is kind of work abroad at some point, even if it's not, you know, for the rest of my life, at least a good period of time to experience another culture for more than just going on holiday and doing something for a week or 2 weeks.
Yes.
So maybe going over to Japan, teaching English, or South Korea or Sweden. But, you know, they learn English as part of their national curriculum anyway, so I'm not sure what kind of demand would be over there. But that's something that'd be quite interesting.
Thailand is quite there with English speakers and English teachers, stuff like that. Thailand would be a good opportunity. But yeah, I recommend it highly. I recommend getting out of England and experiencing new cultures. Me and my business partner Elliot are meant to be going to South Africa on the 22nd of this month. Hopefully.
Oh wow!
Fingers crossed. Everything's booked. Everything. It's going to be all working wise, so that's why I'm going. But yeah, so they'll be making a lot of content and stuff like that, and looking for places to work and help out.
That's so cool. Yeah, I mean, I've done a bit of work in Greece when I've gone over, because I'm part Greek, so my family's from around there. And I love it when I get to work around there, but it's the issue of, you know, being in a place when it's summer and it's really hot and you've got like the sea right there and you're just like sweeping up something and just like I just want to be swimming. Yeah, it's
beautiful. I loved Greece. That first leg in Greece were amazing. We got to Delphi and Athens. I loved it. I thought I could have stayed there a week.
I loved it that you guys went to Piraeus as well, because I'm from an island, so we always have to use the boats. So whenever we go, we travel to the airport in Athens and get a 2-hour bus to Piraeus, which doing that on its own, it felt a lot like what you guys go through. Like, you're so tired by the end of it, and we're like lugging massive luggage with us. And then we get to Piraeus and just wait for the boats, and that's literally it.
It's worth it, but when you get there, I'm guessing it's like, you know what I mean, it's just beautiful. It's not like here. It's worth going. Like, these people, and most people which are like you know, stay in England and like go like Blackpool or Caravan and stuff like that, like scared of flying. Like you don't have our show showed you don't have to fly. You can go do public transport if you wanted to.
I think there's been a big rise of people who are doing like road trips as well recently.
Yes.
I've heard quite a few people, and obviously with the Channel Tunnel, a lot more people can obviously go through Europe and through Asia, which is what I think Race was kind of showing and indicating, that you don't just have to fly over, you can like visit lots of countries in the same amount of time.
Yeah, it's like, look how much you miss from, because I've got family in Australia, I've been to Australia a few times, so I've flown over all that without even thinking about it. And then obviously it opens your eyes and you're like, everything I flew over, I've actually gone through one now, and it's crazy.
Yeah. So moving on from Race a bit, you've done a bit of traveling since then. How do you find traveling in general? Like, what is the most difficult part for you?
The most difficult part for me would be the language barrier, because obviously I don't speak any other languages, so it's always going to be a tough one, because it's my fault, not their fault, because it's their language. But it's like, it's always going to be tough if you don't have another language. Like, because, you know what I mean, you can use your phone and that's fair enough, or you can just ignore people and go on by your day. But I love communicating with strangers and speaking to people on the road, because everyone's got their own story, so I just love speaking to new people.
And so you mentioned obviously there's quite a few places that you're looking to go through with your business partner. So you've started your own travel podcast, Sonderful Travel. So tell us a bit about that.
So during lockdown, like the first 2 lockdowns, I wasn't really doing anything. I was waiting for my agents to find me more TV work, and I was just laid back waiting. I was just like, this isn't working. It's not gonna just come. I've got to do something. I've got to keep myself active because there's not much to do. So I just thought, I spoke to Elliot. I've been speaking to Elliot for the past year or so, and we've been getting on, and we've been thinking about something to collaborate and do something together. And this is where we came up with this idea where I can give people knowledge of what I learned on Race Across the World, but on little trips with us. Because like there's travel companies which are always doing travel bookings and stuff like this. But where I'm different is I want to go with the people. You know what I mean? And just
more
make
like
it
a tour.
Completely different. Yeah, completely different experience, and try like film it and like make a TV show on YouTube, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, Azaria, do you think that travel could be like more of a community thing rather than just like 2 people, 3 people going?
I think it'd be good. It'd definitely be a different kind of experience, because then everyone might be able to bring something to, you know, the traveling. So Alex mentioned about the like language barrier kind of thing. So maybe by chance you'll have someone who speaks that language, just completely coincidental, and that might be able to help you. Yeah, it's just
100%.
You know, it brings
and it's
different.
Communicating, making friends. Like you'll make, like say we go on a trip with like 9 random people, they'll get to know each other and they'll make friends. I mean, you never know. Like they could, like say one person lives in Newcastle and the other person lives in London. They've got a place to stay and a person to speak to a friend, sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think again that's something that I find a bit in Greece, because I'm from a small island. If you do hear people speaking English, you immediately like latch on. But that was more of a thing like in the early 2000s. Recently, you do find people who are just going like on their own. So I think it's good to kind of bring back that community aspect to it. Definitely.
And like because obviously I learned a few things on the trip abroad and going away and like living on a budget. So I could teach people these things, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm looking at the people which are like, so say you've got a friend group and you live in a small village, and like say there's 10 of you, and all of the people want to just drink and go to festivals and just do all that, and maybe one person wants to travel, but they're scared to travel by themselves. We're trying to reach them solo travelers and if you're nervous to travel by yourself, come with us, and then we can teach you, and then you can go do your own traveling, you know what I mean? And it's not so scary.
Yeah, I think it's such a cool idea. So what are the places that you're looking to go? I mean, I've seen quite a few recently that look amazing, but just obviously for listeners who might not have seen yet, tell us a bit about the places that you've booked or that you're looking at booking in the future.
We have an Iceland trip, which has got 6 people booked on at the moment. We've got 4 more bookings available if anybody still wants to join there. That will be till the 3rd and the 6th of September. Going to the capital of Iceland, going to do the excursions like the Blue Lagoon, stuff like that. Whichever people want to do, it's their personal choice. Because we're catering to their perfect, like holiday sort of thing for 3 days. And then we're looking at a Barcelona trip in August, if possible, depending how coronavirus goes. Obviously, we've got full refund for any coronavirus situation. You know what I mean? Like if it's COVID related, we'll full refund because it's not your fault. And a lot of companies wasn't doing that at first, and people lost a lot of money. And I'd never want to do that to people. I never want to rip them off because I treat people how I want to be treated. You know what I mean? So I want to help as much as possible and try and get it as cheap as possible.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's been quite an issue for a lot of people looking at traveling, or I think one of the reasons a lot of people have sort of been waiting for trips rather than booking as early as they usually would is because of how companies have sort of reacted. And obviously, you know, a lot of plane companies and travel companies have started to go under because of this. So I think it's good that you're able to kind of help out a bit, but also ensure like the safety of the customers as well, of like the people that you'll be traveling with.
People can join me on my mission to 195 countries because that's the end game, is go to them all, you know what I mean? I've done 25.
Yeah.
One more go.
Where do you where's the one place that you absolutely need to go to?
Maldives. It just looks so. It's a bit of me. If not that, it'd have to be Tokyo, because everybody I met has always said Japan. You've got to go. There's no place like it. And I know you're all fans of Japan.
Yeah.
I've listened to your podcast. I know you're all. So yeah, Japan has got to be. It just looks completely different.
We're all hoping in the next couple of years we'll be able to go as well. I think Azaria is as well.
Definitely. I mean, I do agree. Every single person who's been to Japan and been to Tokyo and everything have all said the same thing, that it's wild. It's a completely different experience, and everyone's just genuinely friendly because you're a foreign person in a place where, you know, the majority of people are Japanese. They will all speak Japanese. Very few people speak English. So when they hear, you know, a foreigner speaking English, they'll be like, oh, hi, you seem interesting.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I mean. It's just something completely different. The whole layout of the whole place is wacky and weird. I want to try it. I want to go.
Yeah. When we went, it was a complete culture shock, but in like a really good way. It was. Yeah. I mean, I think when you go on like the trains and stuff, you immediately have to like take your backpacks off. Everyone is like completely silent. It's so different. It's like
completely weird.
Yeah.
I want to try it. I want to see what it's like.
Yeah, and I would definitely recommend going to like the more rural areas of Japan as well, or like the less populated ones, because again, there's so much to offer.
100%. I want to travel a bit of Japan if possible. I don't want to just stay in Tokyo.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a great idea. And one that I think we all definitely share. And hopefully sometime soon we'll all be able to head off on holiday at some point. And I am very much looking forward to seeing some pictures and YouTube videos and more podcasts from Sonderful Travel, telling us about Iceland and everywhere else, Barcelona. all the other places that you'll be going to soon in the future. Well, who knows how soon, but hopefully. Fingers
Yes,
crossed.
Hopefully sometime soon.
Thank you so much for joining us this week. It's been absolutely lovely getting to know you a bit. And obviously for everyone watching or listening, please go and watch Race Across the World and follow Alex on his Instagram, follow Sonderful Travel. Is there anywhere else that you want to tag in?
Nah, just my Instagram, Elliot's Instagram, Sonderful Travel.
Lovely.
Check them all out, please. Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, and again, follow us on Instagram at Flaneur Talks Podcast, on Twitter at Flaneur Talks, and on the YouTube channel Flaneur Talks. So thank you everyone for listening, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.